I am. Welcome to Game Beyond the Game presents Talk That Talk, inspiring conversations with professional athletes, where we inspire our audience as we explore finding vision and purpose in life and discuss tools to overcome life's transitions. I am Sam Pearson II, your MC, and we are joined with founder Prince Daniels Jr.
Hey.
Prince, how are you feeling officially?
Oh man, I always say blessed, but I'm feeling amazing today. It's just the energy is high. And I keep building on my happiness. You know, sometimes it seems like that's difficult to like process mentally, but I keep building on my happiness just by learning how to be incredibly grateful for those small things in life, man. And as I remind myself of that, as I remind myself that we get the opportunity to speak to incredible individuals that have traveled from a different country and now doing incredible things. It's just awesome to be able to have the opportunity for that. So like I said, I feel blessed and grateful. So thank you.
Awesome, man. Thank you for being here. And without further ado, I don't have to. I get to bring up an awesome guest. Born in Albania, Kristjan Sokoli moved to the U.S. when he was 9 years old. He was hungry to learn the American way of life and find success. Football gave him that opportunity when he was 13 years old, and for that, he is forever grateful. The lessons he's learned, the relationships he's built, and the experiences football provided have been amazing. Despite being drafted by Seattle Seahawks and playing 4 seasons in the NFL, he has found that transitioning out of the game of football has not been easy, but he is slowly finding his game beyond the game. Since high school, he's been fascinated by the U.S. stock market and is now taking that interest to Merrill Lynch, where he hopes to help other athletes protect and grow their wealth. He enjoys acting and film and says he has made a fool of himself on social media and YouTube. We'll have to check that out later, Kristjan. Please welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Kristjan Sokoli. Kristjan, how are you doing?
What's up, guys? Doing good. Thank you for having me. Let's go. I'm trying to match your energy. You guys are on fire. It's 5 Eastern over here, but I'm gonna make it feel like it's 7:30 a.m. after a great workout. Let's get it.
I like that, man. 7:30 after. Oh, that means you're fired up. 7:30 a.m. after the workout, ready to take the day on.
Well, right? Yeah, you know those feelings, right? That's the best feeling. The worst feeling is 5:30 a.m. before that workout, but we won't talk about that.
That's Game Beyond the Game after dark. That's the Game Beyond after dark. Oh, man. Thank you for being here. So let's jump right into it, right? And then maybe we'll work our way back, into your obviously your playing days. But financial wealth and management. Why is that important? Why is that something that you thought was that it was at the front of your mind to start with? Post game after Game Beyond the Game.
Like you were saying, I did take a huge interest in the stock market at a young age. In the beginning, I'm not going to lie, it was like any other kid takes an interest in something that's way bigger than him. I didn't know what it was. I was fascinated by it. I said, wow, the markets, these big companies, and you get to study these big companies and see which one's going to be the next one. And I was trying to pick stocks myself in high school. So that's how I generally got into it. And then by college, I was thinking I want to be in investment banking, which is a really intense work. And a lot of it it's an analyst work, and it's behind a computer screen all day doing Excel spreadsheets. Not trying to put that work down, because some of the brightest people are in investment banking for real. But slowly but surely I came to find out that my personality, who I am, would probably match best financial advising and helping people manage their money more so than helping big companies buy other companies and be on the analyst side of things. So I was very fortunate. When I was done playing football with the Giants, I ended up talking to a guy who works in investment banking in New York City. His name is Sokoli. Sokoli introduced me. He's an Albanian guy himself, and I was just fortunate to get to meet him. And he ended up introducing me to a bunch of other Albanians that are in Wall Street, working banking in New York City. And through that network, I really got to figure out more so what I want to do, just from seeing what those guys do, what the different fields are like. So, and then now what I want to do, I've invested, my whole life, and I don't mean to sound like I'm a seasoned investor, because I'm not, but with what I had and what I was able to invest with, I've done okay, and I've really enjoyed it. And I believe in the stock market. I believe in investing, and I'd love to help athletes invest, and I'd love to get them lined up with the right investment plan and the right firm, and just be somebody they can trust, and help them make the right decision with that. So there's my elevator pitch. It's a little scattered. I got to work on it.
I'll allow it. I like it.
It was good, man.
Now, really quick. So sometimes investing can be, let's say, overwhelming to a novice or someone who's completely clueless. So let's say for an athlete let's say they just started, they've been drafted, and they want to think about, life after football. What's something that's more simple than they may anticipate, right?
Yeah, it really is. And investing is such a vague term. I mean, buying into your buddy's restaurant is investing. Opening up a restaurant yourself, a lemonade stand, that's investing, but on your own. And then buying Apple shares or Amazon shares, that's investing. So it really is a vague term, and some of the best guys are trying to analyze this stuff and figure out how to value a company. And even for them, there's a lot of gray area. And that's like anything else. I mean, it's like, I don't know, Bill Belichick trying to talk about which defense matches up the best against this particular offense. And even he might scratch his head and be like, man, cover 4 would work really well here. But if we go cover 1, this is also good. And that's literally investing too, in a sense. There's never any perfect answer. You just try to be more on the side of right than wrong over the long run. And you let the people that are good at what they do what they do, kind of thing. Like even me, by no means am I sitting here and saying I'm good at picking stocks, because that's not my job. Even as an advisor, my job is to marry an investor to somebody that is good at picking stocks. Even more so, to marry them to a fund manager that hires people that are good at picking stocks, and they manage multiple funds. So it's like that in everything, man. Like everybody has their lane, and you stay in your lane. This is just my opinion too. And if you veer off that lane too much, it can get wrecked. Because everybody's good at what they do. So if you try to pick stocks, if you're out there trying to pick stocks on your own Robinhood, and I do it myself with the money that I can afford to lose, you're competing against some of the best minds that 60 hours a week, all they do is think, what's the next best stocks? How are these stocks performing? And you think you can check in an hour a day and beat those guys? It's tough, So everybody's got their lane, you know what I'm saying? You just gotta come. Yeah,
Kristjan, that's so crazy that you mentioned that, because when we play sports, we think the same way. We think in that same manner. Like, man, you decide you want to come over here. Most people say, I want to play football, professional sports for one day. But if you get out there, all you've done is a couple of push-ups, and you get out there and you get hit for the first time. It's going to rock your world, and the way that you think about playing that sport. You'll definitely rethink that within those few moments, man. I wanted to. I love this talk, but I wanted to steer the conversation to, like, man, you were born in a different country, okay? So, like, to me, I think it's very fascinating for you to be able to be born in a different country, not know any language. So there's a language barrier, and now all of a sudden, you speak English fluently, and because a lot of times when you live in America, you don't think to yourself like, wow, I speak English fluently. You just say like, yeah, I speak English. It's my first language. But when you come from a different country, you have to learn this language. Like, how difficult was that?
And it's funny because now, honestly, luckily for me, it's second nature to me too. I literally feel way more comfortable speaking English than Albanian. And I still speak, fluent Albanian. I've talked it with, and I still talk Albanian with my family, so that's kept my Albanian fluent. But now it's become second nature. But it wasn't easy. I came here 9 years old, and luckily it was still a pretty young age. I do feel like, in my family, there's people that have come at all different ages, and it feels to me like those teenage years is the cutoff, honestly. If you come here beyond 12, 13, 14, you keep your accent, which isn't the worst, but it's hard to adapt even more to the language and the culture. So.
Right.
I feel like I came in at that sweet age where I definitely kept the Albanian in me, but I got to adapt more so than not, because, hey, not to get too intense, but I think you always got to be adapting, man. Wherever you're at, you got to adapt. I mean, there's something to be said about authenticity and staying true to who you are, but you got to adapt to your crowd too. You got to bring value to the crowd, and if you want to bring value, you got to adapt. You got to become a little more American. you know, and so it's been interesting though. It's a struggle sometimes because, you know, my Albanian friends and family think I can be too American, and of course, all my American because I'm too Albanian. But, on the positive note, I think it's cool. It's good. It gives me a really interesting way to be able to see things from two different sides, and I appreciate it.
Nice. That's super awesome.
The hell out of me sometimes too.
That's super awesome, man. So, were you drafted to the Seattle Seahawks?
I was, in 2015.
Drafted to the Seattle Seahawks, and then after that, you played with the last team that you played with was the New York Giants, correct?
Yeah, correct, the Giants.
So how was that? Because it seems like you've been going through a lot of transitions in your life, and you know, like when we speak to you today, you're excited. You got this jovial attitude, just like you enjoying life, man. And I don't know. Because you're a boss. That's what it is, baby. Wow.
The cup said it. The cup said it.
He didn't say it. The cup said it, right? So it seems like, man, you've been doing really well with all of these transitions. How was it playing in New York, and how were the Giants?
Yeah. Well, first off, when you're on Facebook Live, you got to pretend your life is going absolutely amazing.
They don't have the truth.
Yeah, you got to be like, "Whoa, God damn! I got to vacuum. I got to do laundry. Where the hell am I?"
The real.
We got a clean side of the house on this side.
I got on one sock. Nobody got to know. Yeah, I got on one sock.
No pants. Just top.
One thing I'm finding peace in, man, and I think you guys see this too. We are all struggling, man. Life is a struggle. You know, it's not. I don't think anybody ever fully figures it out. You're always trying to catch up to things, and I know me. I try to do a lot of things at once. I'm trying to do this wealth management thing. I'm trying to grow my YouTube channel. I'm really interested in real estate too, and I'm trying to refinance and do some stuff on that end. And all the time, I'm like, Kristjan, you're out of your mind. You need to pick one thing and do it. But so yeah, I stay really busy.
Yeah.
Half the time, I think I'm crushing it. Half the time, I think that I'm just all over the place, don't know what I'm doing. But no, that is my personality. I enjoy that lifestyle. I really do. I like to be busy. You know, when I have fun, I like to have a great time, and when I work, I like to work really hard. You know, so and I'm sure you guys can relate. You know, it's just I think it's the athlete life a little bit. Yeah. And that's I think the beauty that I want to share, like transition from football. Mm-hmm. By no means have I figured it out. I mean, yeah, I think we were always transitioning. That's just life. Right. And, yeah, you get a lot of transitions. I transitioned to offensive line with the Seattle Seahawks. And that was the toughest thing I had to try to do in my life, to learn offensive line. And I did some good things. I made the active roster the first year. Wasn't consistent enough to probably pick the second year. But then I want to move on to the transition beyond the game beyond the game. I really do, because I've talked a lot about my career. It's been great, love it, but I think this is the big transition, and I think guys like us just need to two things. I think one is believe in ourselves and believe in what got us to be successful athletes, because we work really damn hard, man. I still train pretty hard with my trainer that I trained with coming up, you know, and the biggest thing I get from him is I get reminded of how hard I work to make it in football. And I just like a reminder to me that, yeah, I can work, man. I can work hard, you know. And that inner belief is huge. And the second thing I think that I'm learning myself, we have to humble ourselves after the game to learn these new things that we're doing, because the same way we had to take so many reps to be able to know how to punch a guard from a three-point stance, you know, and stay on his outside shoulder. It took so many reps to really learn that. It took so many reps to learn how to run a certain route. It's going to take the similar amount of reps to be really good at wealth management, to be really good at YouTube, to be really good at production. Everything has that, you know? So we just need to literally, and it's tough. I think it's the second one. We say, yeah, humble ourselves. And I said the same thing. Yeah, I'm going to humble myself. I want to start from the beginning. But the reality is we don't really accept it because we're so used to being at the top of our game, man. We were just at the top 1% in the world at what we do. Like, there's not much to me, and I'm sure to you guys, there's not much better feeling in the world than being the best of the best at whatever you're doing. It doesn't matter if you're freaking, you know, fixing computers. You're probably at NASA. You're not fixing computers anymore. But if you're the best of the best, yeah, it's exhilarating. But now we got to go back from the beginning, and that's really humbling. But we have to remember to believe in ourselves that we can use the same skills, intangible skills, to be successful at the next thing, and at the same time accept that it's going to be dang hard, the same way football was.
Man,
Long
I understand why you are the first Albanian to make it to the league, man.
Shout out Albanian in these streets.
Yes, baby. All the Albanians, shout out to you guys, man. What nice. There you go. Actually, how do you say I'm proud to be an Albanian in your language?
Oh man. Jam krenar si jam shqiptar.
Okay.
I don't even think the closed caption can capture that. The subtitles are gonna be like, what?
Like, I'm not gonna say it, but I'm gonna put it in the chat box. There we go.
Nice.
Okay. Yo, thank you for
put it in the chat box. What? Hold on. Wait a minute.
Now, I'm gonna say that it won't make sense to Albanians because I'm gonna be saying it, but at least it'll mean something.
This is awesome.
There's a guy. What's his name on Instagram? It's called he's called the Black Albanian, but I forgot what's his name. He's called the Black Albanian. He's black. He's not Albanian at all, and he goes to Albanian weddings and sings out full songs. Like, bro,
my God,
like, great dude. I've been telling him we got to go Instagram live together. But anyway,
wow, is this how you say it? Is that how you say it?
If you can say that in Albanian, you'll probably be the second black guy that can speak Albanian.
Here we go. No pressure. I'll practice. I'll come back to you.
On a serious note, whoever cares about this, there's more. Believe it or not, there's more Africans and Chinese people in Albania than you would think. I mean, it's not a lot, but there's like a decent population of people that have come in and made soccer careers there, media careers, business. Yeah, so it's just interesting how the world is, you know.
Wow, that's awesome, man.
People adapt, man. It's crazy. Yeah. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Two things you mentioned. You said people adapt, and we'll just touch on football one last time, but it's going to be related to the rest of your life because there's been some skill sets that you've had to use throughout the time, let's say when you first got here. So what do you think the one thing that has been consistent because you fell in love with football or gave you the opportunity, let's say at 13, but what's been a consistent skill set that you've used from football and obviously beyond now into the wealth management space?
Honestly, if I'm gonna be being completely honest, I think it's grit, you know, and not to be intense or motivational, but no, that's the reality. I think it's grit. I really do, and I say it all the time too when people ask me this. I think people overvalue being smart and being intelligent. It's good to be smart. It's good to be intelligent, but like there's nothing like grit, man. Like people that are fighters and battle. Of course, it's good to be smart. Nothing wrong with that. But I want to emphasize the grit part because if you're smart, you're bound to fail. You're bound to hit obstacles because everyone hits them. But if you don't have grit, you will get beat by those obstacles. And if you have grit, you just keep striking. You keep striking. And before you know it, the dummy with the grit, I'm going to just say it. I'm going to put that out there. Maybe we can hashtag that.
The dummy with the grit.
Ends up winning the prize. I really think that's the way the world is kind of. You know?
What's that saying that hard work beats talent any day?
Talent work hard, and it's so true. Yeah, I think so, man. Just because it's the inevitable nature of football, of life. You know, no matter how good you are, you're gonna have really tough moments. You're gonna lose. How do you respond?
All right.
And that's it. I think. Yeah.
Oof, that's beautiful, man.
Man, so you see, so you've learned so much, and you have so much insight, and it seems, and again, you had constant transitions with most do. You had a global transition, like in coming here.
Yeah.
So in terms of your experience, if you could look back on, let's say, the 13-year-old Kristjan, or the one who just gotten here and looking back on those days where you were learning the American way, what's some advice that you would give him today? Like, this is you looking back on the younger version of you. What advice would you give him?
I would try to tell him, I'd tell him to try to take it easy more so and just believe in yourself more. But hindsight is 20/20, man. I think that just, you know, just how life is. You never get to go back. You always get what you got and you work with it. Because, I told him to, like, chill out, man. Like, you're way too, like, worried about everything. But I think it's also because I was so driven. I wanted to succeed so bad, but I also fell behind. Like, I was like, I don't know how to speak English well. My accent is off. But I think, and I was made fun of a lot. You know, I mean, it's natural. Kids are mean. It's never. With this big
until you get big, and then they stop being mean.
You're going to bring up the forehead. I love your forehead. And now, just in full disclosure, it's the camera angle, folks. That is making the ratio different. I was given permission to make that clear.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I didn't want to be the one to mention it, but when someone else says it, it has a lot more validity. So. Well, it was inevitable. I got made fun of, and I didn't know the language, and I think stuff like that, yeah, it builds you up. Yeah, I think it gave me a little grit, one way or the other. I mean, I had it too. Even in Albania, when I was playing, so we would play soccer for fun. I was playing soccer since I was 5 years old. My dad gave me a bike, I think, at like 4.5, and he said it was like an old beat up bike, and he said, "If you don't learn how to ride this by the end of the day, I'm taking it away." we forget to do things like that with kids a little bit too now. You got 5 wheels for a bicycle. Come on, man.
Like, why is the extra wheels? What do I do with these?
Yeah,
figure it out.
Oh man! Wow,
that's brilliant. By the way, people probably consider. I don't even know if people would consider that cruel and unusual, but I like it. I think there's no better motivation than knowing you wouldn't have one. What was that, Kristjan? I'm sorry.
No, I think it's good. It's good motivation. It's exciting. It's fun.
That's good, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Oh man. So with everything that's going on in the world, how are you handling yourself in this transition? Because I'm pretty sure, well, just in our lifetime right now, we haven't had a chance. We haven't seen anything with the pandemic, with the racial injustice, social injustice, and racism, in a different country that you're not originally from. Like, how are you handling all of this, and how's that transition been looking for you thus far?
It's been tough, honestly. It hasn't been easy. Last 4 months. I mean, I don't want to go into a sob story because I have it good. I'm in America, whatever. No pity party, but if everything is relative, no, I want to be in the office. I want to be grinding away. I want life to be normal. I want to be working in wealth management. Like right now, the bank has me doing a different line of work, processing loans instead of wealth management, which is what I want to do. But it's like, dude, it's the same thing that we just talked about this whole time, right? We just got to be ready for that transition. Everything just happens to be a transition. And one thing I've learned a lot in these last 2 years of being out of the league is I've been journaling a lot, and I like to plan things out a lot. I'm like, I want to be here in 5 years. No, I want to do this in 5 years. No, I want to get to this in 5 years. And I've realized, stop doing that. Make the most of today. You have an idea of what you want to be good at, but even that can always change, because look at this. How many people had these great businesses running that are completely revolutionized now because of COVID, the coronavirus and all that, and then the racial stuff, that's changed a lot of things too. That's changed media. I mean, it's always changing me. So I think we got to realize we are not the party. We are part of this party, and we got to find a way to roll with it. That's kind of how I am. The second you think you got things figured out and you have an idea how the next few months are going to go for you, yeah, you got a good one coming for you.
Kaboom! Right.
It's tough. And, about being from a different country. I have a lot of pride in being an immigrant, and I think immigrants built this country. I don't want to get too racial, but I probably will get more than I should. No, but I think we all provide different things to this country, man. We all do. We really do. I do think this is the greatest country in the world. I think we have a great system here. I also am well aware that it's not as easy for a black person to say that because of, excuse me if I'm wording this wrong, just say it from the heart how I see it, 200 years or so of slavery. It's a lot harder to overlook that than it is to overlook, my family got, picked on and we got beat up for 10 years, 5 years, 15 years here as immigrants, 30 years as immigrants. So it's tougher. I truly think both sides have to try to meet in the middle. I think the left has to take ownership and also try and see the right's perspective, and the right has to also see that there have been injustices done to the black people. Just call it how it is. I think racism is inevitable, man. Maybe I'm wrong for saying it straight up, but when I look at a black guy on the street, I think differently when I look at a white guy. And I have black friends, so, but am I going to sit here and say I'm not racist? No, I think we're all inevitably racist. It's human nature to judge. It's part of us being protective. If you see a big dude on the street, you're like, wow, he's big. Like, I mean, is it right to think that a black guy is more dangerous than a white guy? No, it's not. But for many reasons, we do think that way inevitably. I do myself, and I'm just calling it how I see it. And I think this is a good time of awareness to try and realize that, because now as I realize that, it's not like I see it and I'm like, this is the right way to think. I'm like, oh, okay, I got to check that, because now I might talk to a black dude differently than I talk to a white dude, and that is not right. So I think both sides really need to just work towards each other, as crazy as that sounds. And the problem is the extreme on the right thinks they're dead right, and the extreme on the left thinks they're dead right. And I think, and who knows who's right, but I think that they're both wrong. We got to be strong over here, but, yeah, that's my take. And probably just killed my YouTube career with that one.
Today is the day we make you.
Right.
The left is like, wow, this guy is a freaking racist. And the right is like, wow, this guy is with the left. This guy is talking.
And what we do learn is that you can't please everyone.
Right. Yeah, you can't.
A long time ago, yes.
Right. I want to say thank you for your candid expression. Because a lot of people really shy away from just telling how it is, the reality, that the obvious reality that nobody wants to shed light on, and because a lot of people, that's refreshing for it to come from you, and just acknowledging that, man, because then that allows other people to be able to speak about it, because people see us as influencers, athletes, and so whenever we're able to face the obvious or express it out in the open, it gives other people opportunities to do the exact same thing, because they mimic us, and so since we influence them, they're going to be influenced to do the exact same thing. So I wanted to say thank you for saying that, and then. If you lose some YouTube subscribers, we're gonna get you some more for this show today, man. Thank you for your courage and just sharing that, because a lot of times there are people in this world that definitely that definitely don't use their platform to speak up and have the courage to do it. And I also want to mention, for anybody that's participating and watching, please hashtag ask. If you want to ask Kristjan a question, Kristjan a question. I have to say it like that. If you want to ask Kristjan a question, please hashtag ask. All right. Talk about his journey in life and his transition because of what everything that's going on. And I see that somebody has asked a question. So what does this say? Question to talk about journaling or life transition because of coronavirus, or what is going on in our society today. Okay, yeah, we already answered that question. All right, so if you have any more questions, make sure that you ask it, and we'll post it up and see if we can answer it for you. So you got to stand.
For sure. One thing I also want to mention is something that you did there. There are two words, and that's empathy and recognition, that are really powerful, because that's not an admission of guilt, wrong, or shame, and not that there's anything wrong with those things, but the needle completely moves and begins to shift when there's empathy and when there's recognition. Again, so to your point, being able to say, hey, this is what it feels like, because obviously empathy is being able to put your feelings aside and recognize someone else's experience, and then to recognize it. This is what's happening, or this is what happened. And that all by itself creates growth. So again, to your point, thank you for mentioning those few things, because most folks don't even understand that that's what it takes, is empathy and recognition, to be able to move forward and be a little bit smarter about the way we handle ourselves and each other, in appreciation of living in a world that we all say we want to live in. So kudos to you, boss man. Love the cup again. Just going to say that again. So last question from me, Kristjan, what's next for you, right? I know we're not going too far into the future, right? But, as you, let's say as the evening winds down and you're thinking about, what? I see this, I want this for me. What is that what is it that you want for you?
I want to keep growing the wealth management thing. I want to keep growing my book of business. I actually just had an appointment this morning with a really good friend of mine from high school, and he gave me his word. He's like, when you're back in the program, I want you managing my money. And it's a decent amount of money. He's a young kid, but that meant so much to me. And honestly, that reminded me why I want to do what I do, because I was like, Dan, the amount of money I'm going to make off of you yearly, I can't even pay a month's rent with. That's not the point. But the fact that you trust me with your money that you work so hard for like that, and you just said, I'm going to give you kind of the keys to that. I was like, man, like I really appreciate that. And I want to do right by you. So I want to have more stuff like that. I want to grow my book of business there. And then I want to continue to be very active on social media and on YouTube. Sometimes I'm a little over the fence. I do some intense stuff, but that's who I am, But I enjoy that. Honestly, I want to entertain people. I want to make people laugh, and I want to make people feel in general. I want to bring people together, and I want to make them feel. Sometimes I want to make them feel grossed out because I just did some stupid thing, but I just I love it. I love that. I love that online stuff. I want to make people feel different things, and I really do want to bring people together. And I do have this vision in my head of kind of pushing out. I feel like online, you either see the left or you see the right, and I want to push the middle. I want to see if we can find the middle, because I think it's there, and I really think the middle involves people all believing in themselves. People really. You always sound political. Now I'm going to sound like a libertarian, which I do like some of their principles. But, political here. No, but really, I'll say it bluntly. There's plenty of things that I think democratically. Trump, I don't think he's the worst guy. I think there's good things about Trump. I think Trump is, in some ways, a breath of fresh air. In some ways. I think in many other ways, I get it how he sounds condescending. He sounds like all that good stuff. Anyway, I want to find the middle, and I really think when I look at this stuff, I think there's a middle. The truth lies in the middle. So let's see where it goes.
Maybe that's a book title. Maybe that's a book title for you. Find the middle. You can work on the subtitle. Find the middle. That could. I'm just throwing it out there. That's yours. You can have it.
You got the title. I just got to write it now, which takes a lot of work.
Right? Yeah, it definitely does, man. But man, that's so beautiful, man. We appreciate that. This is
my message. I appreciate it because it's an intense topic. It is.
Yeah,
it's emotional. It really is.
Very sensitive for a lot of people. Yeah.
Yeah, naturally, it makes sense that it's sensitive.
Right. But no, I mean, like this. But these are the conversations that we need to have, and not shy away from them, especially right now when everybody is looking towards a credible source, to be able to have a voice for them, and they can live into that voice, and it helps them build confidence. So that's why a lot of people tune into sports, because it's just like, oh man, in the fourth quarter, making throwing those touchdowns like Brady, or punching it in, or making that tackle. It's all of these things. People live vicariously through professional athletes, and when we can really recognize that. And we do the things, by pushing the narrative of finding that median, that happy median, and teaching people like there is a median. Like you don't have to be so over here and so over there. Just be right there.
Both sides that are going crazy for that touchdown that you're talking about.
Exactly.
So, we want the same things. We just got to kind of try and see that a little bit. We're all just trying to be happy, eat a little bit better, have a nice roof over our head, right? And then be famous on Instagram too.
Then want to be insta famous. There's not too much to ask. Is it? Is it really?
The English white guy is like, yeah, I want to be famous too.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. I know we're going to wrap up the show in a little bit, but man, I wanted to ask you about like, what was it like growing up in Albania, man? Because like, for people that never been there, and if I want to go there, like, what was it like, or what would it be like for me to go? Because as you said, you're proud of being an immigrant. My father was an immigrant as well. And so when I go back to Africa, when I go back to Ghana, it's like, oh man, I've been going for so long. Like, I'm so happy to be here. So what is it like when you go back to Albania? Because I definitely want to go and visit there. And I would love to go with you. Me and Stan.
Oh, that would be awesome. I'm not even joking. I wanted to go this summer. We'll see how everything goes with COVID, but not saying this. This is straight up on Facebook Live though. We could take Game Beyond the Game to Albania for a week. So
Really?
Tell you, we'll get some more folks too that have been saying they want to go. That would be an interesting trip right there.
That would be such a great trip.
Capital of Tirana would love us, and we would love them. It would be great.
Man.
I'll take you guys to the mountains where my family really grew up for years. My dad's side just moved, and my mom, they just moved to the city. My mom moved to the city at 5 years old. Flatland, I should call it. It's not really city. Well, they're a little more city-like, but. And then my dad moved, when he was in his early 20s. Before that, their families literally lived off the land. And some of the stories they have, like living off the land in a mountain where it's already hard to farm and hard to live off the land. Imagine, this is my mom's dad's story, building your own house, on your own merit. There's no construction companies. It's just you and your peoples, and you're chopping wood for, it's all like on your own. It's rural. You're in the mountain, and you build this beautiful home. You got one of the best homes in the neighborhood. And then communism comes over and they say, oh, you know what? You built that too close to the other side, to the other country. We're going to knock that down. You can go over there. No reimbursement, nothing, So it's stuff like that. So that gives me pride of where I come from. I get to enjoy all these great things I have now. But, here was my grandpa, who's a grinder, a worker. He had to go through that, So that gives me appreciation for what I have. But
and it lets you know what's in you.
I enjoy it. Go ahead.
I was just saying, and it lets you know what's in you, man. That story, bro. Like, so many folks, if they knew the stories that came before them, it would give them more power within.
That is very true. I agree. I really agree with that. Yeah.
Ooh, I think you just discovered something, Stan. You just discovered something, man.
Your dad in Ghana's got some great stuff too. So
man, yeah.
Hard,
Yeah, it is, man. It is, and my dad definitely had a lot of stories as well. He always reminds me. He would always remind me about him first coming to America, and he came here with $32 or $33, somewhere in that range. It always changes every time. He says, sometimes he'll be like, I've come to America with $32 in my pocket. Or, we somewhere else. I came to America with $33 in my pocket. I'm like, oh, okay, which one is it, Dad? Was it 31, 32, or 33? But he was extremely proud of that, man. And my dad passed. And
rest in peace.
Thanks, man. Yeah, rest in peace, Father. Thank that. And one of the things, I remember when I was at his funeral. I'm sorry I'm getting on this subject, but I remember when I was at his funeral, I didn't cry at all. I even had to go into the morgue and identify his body, and I'm just like, it's my dad. And everyone was looking at me like, what is wrong with you? Why are you so stoic? Oh, he's hurting. He's this and that. And I wasn't. I was just internalizing every single thing that was going on because everyone else was crying. And I was just looking like, did y'all have something to do with my father's death? I was like, why y'all crying? I'm like, you better stop crying. I'm not crying. I don't feel like that. But it wasn't until I heard his eulogy and I was sitting back, because one of the things that I had going on in my head was I have to be the man now. Like, how do I be the man? The man that I know has just left this planet. So what's next? And when I heard his eulogy and they told the story, he came to America with $32, it hit me. That was the first time I cried. And I was just like, wow, that's me. So the history of your father is in you. So that's why when somebody says, when the colonizers or whoever came in and they told him, your house is built too close over here, now go and build another house, and he probably did. And, and he probably complained a whole lot, but he got it done. And that's you. That's you. But that's all of us. We'll complain, but we'll get it done. And that builds our character, and we pass that trait on to the next generation. So, big ups to your dad, man. But yes, I definitely want to go to Albania, man.
For real.
And I mean it. I travel. I travel, man, and so I go to different places. Man.
My buddy that I went to high school with, he went to Villanova, played football as well. We have some intense political discussions. So he thinks I'm he thinks I love Trump. He's like, you're a racist. He doesn't think that. We love you. I love the guy. We love you. We're good. He doesn't think that. No, man, we get into it.
Right.
In Nigeria, and he went there to do international business out of Nigeria. He's exporting tiger nuts out of there. So the actual tiger's nuts. There's these nuts called tiger nuts. So
Yeah.
So anyway, maybe we'll have to do that too. Stop in Nigeria on the way. But
let's do it, man. Let's do it. Yeah, it's about bringing everybody together and just teaching everybody more of history outside of America.
Yes. Because America, like I think, is the best country in the world. I don't think it's perfect at all. I think that we really brought a lot of principles from the Roman Empire, from the Greeks, from a lot of history, and we kind of sharpened it to be America. That doesn't mean that we've arrived. We have to constantly sharpen this. That's how we got to America, the prosperity that we kept sharpening. We have to continue to sharpen it. We have to continue to get better. But to your point, I do think that we all come. Now, this is going to be very political. I think we all come from a certain place, land in Africa. That's my thought process. So even if you don't believe that, even if it's God, whatever it is, we come from one place, man. We all come from a similar place. We really all bleed red. We are not that different. We all bring value in different ways. So we have to empower each other, empower our people, and try to be positive and stay in the middle. Remember.
Find the middle. See there? It's already planted. Hey, it's not Sunday, but you started to preach, Kristjan. I hear you.
Hey, man.
I spent a good couple Sundays in church, so I got it down.
That's nice, man. That's nice. Any final words for you to end for me? Go ahead.
No, you're definitely going to get the final word.
Yeah.
Well, Kristjan.
And then you guys are going to close it because this is your show. So
but you're our guest. So, and I'm going to get anyway. Thank you, Prince.
Listen, I'm an Albanian. I understand that hospitality is everything, but I also know how to not shit on someone's hospitality. So I won't fall into that trap. So I'm going to go and you're going to close it. I know whose house this is. I know who pays the bill here. This is really going beyond the game. Not no, really. I have had a blast. Thank you very much. You guys got great energy. I look forward to being a part of Game Beyond the Game. I really do. I hope we go some cool places together, and I hope we put it up on the internet too and share it with our people that follow us. And I hope we give good to the world, man. We show people some good stuff and make people feel better. Sometimes we'll make them feel bad too, but that's inevitable. That's all. Thank you very much for having me.
Kristjan, how can people learn more about you? Are you on social media? How can people follow you or connect with you?
Appreciate that, Stan. Kristjan90. Yep. Oh, look at that. Who did that?
But the producer is crushing it this show. He's crushing it.
That's all you. The YouTube link is in the bio. So link in bio.
Link in the bio. Yes. Oh, man.
Yeah. My last words, and then I'll shoot it to you, Prince, if you don't mind. To your point, again, bringing up your grandfather and then us talking about finding out where you come from, because some folks, again, one generation wasn't the best, right? They came from something that was painful. So what that means is literally and this isn't easy. So let me preface, this isn't easy, but saying that, listen, all right, well then learn about the generation before that. And if that isn't there, find out the generation before that. If that isn't, look to each and every generation to find out, because there is triumph and truth somewhere in your bloodline. And if you find that, you could very easily become what you never thought would be possible. So thank you for bringing that out in this conversation. And it just reminds me more of who I want to be, who I'm trying to be, and again, where I came from and the work that happened before me.
Yep.
Thank you.
Man, that was powerful, Stan. Good.
Thank you, man. Yeah, y'all got me inspired.
Well, my last words. Well, I have a last question for you, and then I'll have some last words. But my last question is, people get a chance to meet you right now, and let's just say they never get a chance to meet you ever again. What would be some of the advice that you would give someone? Like just if you can give them two things, you know, what would those two things be? What would you tell people? Or maybe even your loved one.
No, I got you. Two things. I'm really good at this stuff. As you can see, I love motivational speech. No, it comes from the heart. I'll tell you. No, one, believe in yourself. Really believe in yourself, and the answers that we seek, I really think a lot of them are within us. Try to live your life for yourself and not for others. It doesn't mean you should walk around being selfish, because it's like it's counterintuitive. The second one's going to be you have to live for others. Not live for you have to be considerate of others. We're here in this together. You know, if you no matter how much money you have, how many great things you do, how well you play music, how well you play sports, you need others to watch you and enjoy what you do and see your progress. So we need others, but choose your path and the way you're going to provide value to others by seeking within, and, you know, figure out yourself and do it for yourself. You know, like, don't do things for other people so much. Figure out what you want to do and what makes you happy. And that's not an easy thing to figure out. So don't think you can just figure out, you're supposed to figure out your one passion. It's not easy. It's really not. I mean, I love wealth management. I love the YouTube thing. Am I going to sit here and tell you that I know for a fact this is what I'll do the rest of my life? No, I don't think I can do that. Life is too infinite. It's long. There's a lot of things that happen unknowingly, but do things for yourself, love yourself, take care of yourself, do things that make you happy. And then when you figure out that thing, try to bring others along and give back to others too, because we're all in this together. So that's my two things.
Wow.
Philosophy.
Wow. We got somebody from the crowd, Gabriel Alexis. He was just like, ooh, raise the roof. Shout out to Gabriel, man. Thanks for that. Man, that's awesome. That is super awesome. And my last words is, man, everything that you're sharing, I see the exact same thing in me. And I love the fact that you're about being in the middle, being in that neutral space where you can grab people from this side, you can grab people from that side, and just tell them, like, come on, guys, stop with all the craziness and the chaos. Let's just move forward. You know, we're looking to evolve and progress. And the only way that we'll be able to do that is not being so enamored to this or enamored to that, but being fluid and being able to move forward. So I want to tell you congratulations to that. And then, like, the fact that you said believe in yourself. A lot of people really lack that understanding nowadays about believing in themselves. You know, it's I think it has been diluted over the years, and people don't know what that really means. And I think that you've given them some type of antidote, you know, to like, hey, this is what that means. But if you could put it in your own words or kind of articulate it in a way where you had to explain it to a youth, how would you tell somebody to believe in themselves?
I would tell them to do what makes them happy, and I would tell them to practice it. If something makes you happy, you like playing a certain sport, play it. And I would tell them to not, and especially in the beginning, don't judge yourself so quickly on the results. Judge it by how it makes you feel. You know, you might be a great soccer player, but you might really feel great shooting the basketball. And do that, you know. So then be easy on yourself. Yeah.
Be easy on yourself. Nice. Yeah. That's beautiful, man. That's beautiful. Well, guess what, man? I believe in you, and I love what you're doing, man. Keep being positive. Keep being amazing, bro. Like, I'm so proud of you. Like, I really am. And, you know, just from your story and then playing in the league, you earned that. You earned that. You came to America and you earned that. And that's what's beautiful. And that is the epitome of believing in yourself, man. So kudos to you and to your family as well. I'm not sure how to say this right here. But what I do know is that when we go to Albania, I will be learning how to say that.
At least thank you. We'll work out the hand signs later.
Right? Yeah, man. But yes, man. Thank you so much for your time and just being here, man.
My pleasure. Thank you.
For sure. And I was looking down a little bit. I was taking some notes again, doing whatever people understand as you all watch this, that doing what makes you happy helps you believe in yourself. That gives you confidence doing something that you actually enjoy doing. So that was the point. And then don't judge yourself too harshly. Because that's what I feel like, again, to your point, Kristjan, people end up judging others because they're judging themselves twice as much. So thank you for that, Jewel, as well.
Oh, message. Ding.
I'm telling you. Listen, it was a sermon today. Appreciate your Prince. Thank you for having me in your home as always. Thank you for everyone who tuned in. Kristjan Sokoli, it's an absolute pleasure, and thank you for joining us today and sharing your story and being so transparent and providing the jewels that you did. For those who are watching, please don't forget to like, comment, and share to our YouTube page, all right? Make sure you do that. That would be great. Subscribe our YouTube page. Subscribe to the Game Beyond the Game YouTube page. And make sure you like, comment, and share when you're watching here. Subscribe to our YouTube page so we can make sure this gets to all the ears and eyes that it needs to get to. You can join us here next week on Game Beyond the Game's Facebook page live every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you all so very much. My name is Stan. It's been Prince and Kristjan this episode. Have a great one, y'all. Peace.